The grand conference room was a marvel of modern architecture, glass walls that shimmered like the surface of a distant planet, and a ceiling that flickered with holographic stars. It was the Earth Intergalactic Alliance Summit, a historical event intended to seal a treaty between humanity and a powerful extraterrestrial coalition. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation and the smell of strong coffee mixed with high-tech snacks that resembled a cross between space food and overpriced artisanal cuisine. At the podium stood Alex Chen, a fresh-faced diplomat who had somehow stumbled into this high-stakes negotiation. With his tousled hair and a blazer that looked slightly wrinkled despite his efforts, Alex was the epitome of a well-meaning but hapless protagonist. He cleared his throat, clutching his notes as if they were a lifeline. "Ladies and gentle beings," he began, struggling to suppress a nervous laugh, "I'd like to welcome you all to what is sure to be a historic occasion. Let's make this treaty more binding than my grandmother's dumpling recipe." As the audience chuckled, an enormous holographic screen flickered to life, displaying an array of alien diplomats. Among them was Zorax, a six-eyed being with a head resembling an oversized grapefruit. Zorax yawned mid-appearance, stretching his spindly arms above his head in a pose that somehow seemed both relaxed and alarmingly intimidating. The sudden appearance of Zorax, still in the middle of a yawn, sent the room into a fit of laughter, effectively breaking the tension. Just as the laughter peaked, Alex's heart sank. He had hoped to win over the delegates with charm, but it seemed they were laughing at him, not with him. Suddenly, Zorax's eyes snapped open, and he leaned forward, his expression shifting to one of concern. "Diplomat Chen," he said in a voice that echoed like a malfunctioning intercom, "you seem discombobulated." Alex, caught off guard, replied with a forced grin. "Just trying to keep things light, Zorax. You know, like a comet on a sunny day." The aliens blinked in unison, their faces revealing nothing but curiosity. Clearly, his humor was lost in translation. Moments later, as Zorax began to speak about the treaty's implications for both parties, Alex's mind raced. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about these negotiations. The tone had shifted from cooperation to something darker, more sinister. He scanned the faces of the alien delegates. Some looked eager, while others bore expressions that suggested a predatory intent. After the meeting adjourned, Alex retreated to his small, cluttered office, the remnants of his dignity trailing behind him like an old carpet. "What's wrong with me?" he muttered, kicking a stray piece of paper across the floor. "Why can't I be like my parents? They could charm a star out of the sky." Just then, Maya, his quick-witted assistant with a flair for the dramatic, burst into the room. "You're not your parents, Alex. You're Alex Chen, the guy who once convinced an alien to try a hot dog." She plopped down beside him, her dark curls bouncing as she surveyed the chaos that was his desk. "What's got you down? The speech? The fact that Zorax yawns more than your average teenager?" "I think I might have stumbled onto something," Alex admitted, lowering his voice as if the walls themselves were listening. "I overheard a transmission. I'm not sure what they're planning, but it's not just a treaty. It's something bigger. I think they want to control us, Maya." Maya's eyes widened, the light-hearted banter replaced by seriousness. "Control us how?" "I don't know, but it sounded like they're going to use the treaty to gradually take over. Like we're just resources to them." He sank back in his chair, feeling the weight of the galaxy pressing down on him. "What do I do?" "Easy. We'll break the treaty," Maya declared with a smirk that made Alex feel both relieved and terrified. "We'll expose them for what they are. It's time for a little intergalactic espionage." Alex raised an eyebrow. Espionage? You mean like sneaking into their spaceship, dressed in black, and stealing secrets? I don't even know how to sneak past the reception desk. Exactly. We're going to use your charm and my tech skills to make this work. Besides, if we don't do something, Earth might end up as their interstellar buffet. Maya's enthusiasm was infectious, and despite his reservations, Alex felt a spark of determination. With newfound resolve, the duo began to devise a plan. They enlisted the help of Grebe, a translator from the alien coalition who had developed a fondness for Earth culture, specifically late-night television and pizza. Grebe was a peculiar creature, with a bulging body and 4 tentacles, each of which seemed to have a mind of its own. "Pizza is love," he often said, nodding solemnly. In a series of comical brainstorming sessions, they plotted ways to subvert the treaty without alerting the aliens. One of Maya's ideas was to create a fake treaty document, filled with outrageous demands, like the requirement for the aliens to participate in a dance-off with Earthlings. "We'll distract them with our irresistible moves," she said, demonstrating a particularly awkward jig that made Alex laugh despite himself. As the day of the final negotiations approached, they worked tirelessly, staying up late into the night, fueled by caffeinated drinks and an endless supply of pizza. Their camaraderie grew, each laugh and mishap forging a bond stronger than any treaty could. Finally, the day arrived. Alex stood before the imposing assembly of alien diplomats once more, this time with a strategy that had been crafted through chaos and camaraderie. As he began to speak, he felt a sense of purpose. "Esteemed delegates," he announced, a confident grin spreading across his face. "Let's not just make this treaty, we should make it memorable. Who here has ever participated in a dance-off?" He wiggled his eyebrows playfully. The aliens looked bewildered, their expressions a mix of confusion and intrigue. Zorax leaned forward, seemingly entertained. "Dance-off? This is a new concept. Elaborate." Alex took a deep breath, remembering his purpose. "We will demonstrate our commitment to friendship and cooperation through the art of dance. And if we win, we renegotiate terms that respect Earth's sovereignty. What do you say?" The room fell silent, tension hanging in the air. Alex's heart raced as he awaited a response. But before Zorax could reply, a commotion erupted at the back of the room. A small group of Earth activists had burst in, waving signs that read, "Save Earth from space bullies," and "No more galactic overreach." Alex couldn't believe his luck. The distraction provided the perfect opportunity. In the ensuing chaos, he signaled to Maya and Grebe to initiate their plan. Maya started playing a pre-recorded video of Earth's cultural highlights, complete with a montage of classic dance moves. Suddenly, the room filled with laughter and music, and Zorax, now entirely caught up in the moment, began to sway his spindly limbs. It was a bizarre sight, an alien diplomat dancing in a serious conference room, the image both absurd and uplifting. As the negotiations spiraled into chaos, Alex seized the moment to reveal the secret transmission he had intercepted. "Esteemed delegates, while we dance, let's also talk about transparency," he shouted over the music. The alien leaders froze mid-step, their expressions shifting from amusement to alarm. Alex pressed a button on a handheld device, and the damning evidence appeared on the holographic screen. A cacophony of alien voices echoed in the room as Zorax's yawning face transformed into one of outrage. "You dare to accuse us of betrayal?" Zorax growled, his 6 eyes narrowing. "Yes. And while we dance, let's have an open conversation about trust." Alex countered, adrenaline surging through him. With the room in a state of uproar, Alex and his team had managed to create a situation that was as entertaining as it was tense. The alien factions began to argue amongst themselves, some siding with Alex's proposal for a fairer treaty while others insisted on their original agenda. As the debate heated up, Maya turned to Alex, her eyes shining with excitement. "This is working. They're too busy arguing to notice that we've flipped the script on them." "Right," Alex replied, realizing that humor and unpredictability were his greatest weapons. "Let's keep the momentum going." With laughter and chaos as their allies, they continued to negotiate, highlighting the absurdity of the alien agenda while emphasizing the beauty and uniqueness of Earth. They showed clips of people enjoying simple joys, cooking, dancing, and laughing together, things the aliens had never fully grasped. As the atmosphere shifted, more delegates began to see the value in a partnership built on mutual respect rather than dominance. By the end of the tumultuous meeting, a new treaty emerged, one that recognized Earth's autonomy and embraced cooperation without subjugation. Exhausted but exhilarated, Alex and his team celebrated their unexpected victory. As he stood outside the conference hall, the neon lights of the city shimmering in the night, Alex felt a rush of pride. He hadn't just saved Earth, he had also discovered a strength within himself he never knew existed. As the evening wore on, Maya and Grebe joined him, their expressions lit with joy. "You did it, Alex!" Maya exclaimed, throwing her arms around him. "You're a hero." "Maybe just a lucky diplomat," Alex replied with a grin, the humor of the situation finally hitting him. "But I'll take it. Next time, can we skip the dance-off and just stick to pizza?" Grebe suggested, his tentacles flailing enthusiastically. Alex laughed, the sound ringing out against the backdrop of a vibrant city filled with possibilities. "Deal. But only if you promise to teach me some of those alien moves. Who knows when we might need them again." The night was alive with laughter and camaraderie, a reminder that sometimes, the best way to face the unknown was with a sense of humor and a bit of creativity. As they walked through the streets, Alex felt hopeful about the future, a future where Earth stood strong, not just as a planet among the stars, but as a vibrant part of a greater cosmic community. And so, with a heart full of determination and a mind open to possibilities, Alex Chen stepped into a new chapter of his life, ready to tackle whatever the universe had in store. One awkward dance move at a time. As the trio made their way through the vibrant streets of the city, the atmosphere felt electric. Neon lights flickered overhead, illuminating their path with a kaleidoscope of colors. Street vendors shouted out the names of their exotic snacks, and laughter spilled out from nearby cafes, where people were enjoying the simple pleasure of companionship. It was a stark contrast to the weighty discussions that had taken place just hours before. Alex glanced at Maya, whose eyes sparkled with excitement. "I can't believe we pulled it off. I thought for sure they'd toss us out on our ears when you started talking about a dance-off." "Hey, don't underestimate the power of the unexpected," Maya replied, her voice playful. "And besides, nothing says trust like a good cha-cha." Grebe chimed in, his voice a blend of enthusiasm and curiosity. "If we are to be allies, we should incorporate dance into our diplomatic protocols. Earthlings are fascinating. Your joy is contagious." Alex chuckled, shaking his head. "Well, we definitely can't be the only planet with a dance-off policy. Can you imagine intergalactic summits turning into a massive talent show?" Maya grinned. "I'd pay to see that. But for now, let's focus on what comes next. We've got to make sure this new treaty is implemented smoothly." As they walked, Alex's thoughts drifted to the implications of their victory. The treaty was just the beginning. There would be challenges ahead, debates about resources, cultural exchanges, and finding common ground in vastly different civilizations. He felt a flicker of anxiety but quickly pushed it aside. They had made it this far, they could handle what was next. Suddenly, a loud commotion erupted from a nearby alley. Curious, the trio veered off the main road to investigate. As they approached, they found a small crowd gathered, their faces painted with concern and confusion. In the center of the crowd, a group of activists was rallying, holding signs that read "Earth for Earthlings" and "Say No to Alien Influence." "What's going on?" Alex asked, weaving through the throng. One of the activists, a young woman with vibrant blue hair and a determined expression, turned to them. "We heard about the treaty, and we're worried. We can't just let aliens walk in and take over. We need to protect our rights." Maya stepped forward. "But we just renegotiated the treaty. It's meant to protect Earth's sovereignty." The woman crossed her arms defiantly. "You think a few dance moves and a funny speech will keep us safe? This isn't just about words on paper. It's about our future." Alex felt a swell of urgency. He realized that while they had celebrated their success, not everyone shared their optimism. "Look, I understand your concerns," he said, raising his hands in a calming gesture. "But this new treaty is designed to ensure that Earth has a voice in all future negotiations. We're not just resources to be exploited. We have leverage now." "Leverage?" she scoffed. "You mean a handful of diplomats playing charades with powerful aliens? They could wipe us out in a heartbeat if they wanted to." "We can't let fear dictate our actions," Alex replied, his voice steady. "We need to work together, not against each other. If we approach this with suspicion, we'll never find a way to coexist." The crowd murmured, a mix of skepticism and intrigue washing over their faces. Maya stepped in again. "How about we set up a town hall meeting? Let's bring people together to discuss what this treaty really means for us. We can address your concerns directly." After a moment of hesitation, the activist's expression softened. "Fine. But if this goes south, you'll have a lot more than just angry protesters on your hands." With that, she turned away, signaling to the rest of the group to disperse. As they walked back onto the main street, Alex felt a sense of responsibility settle over him. He knew that their victory wouldn't mean much if the people of Earth didn't feel secure in their new relationship with the aliens. "We need to be proactive," he said, his mind racing with possibilities. "We should organize community meetings, cultural exchanges, things that show people we're all in this together." Maya nodded enthusiastically. "Yes. We can invite the aliens to join us in showcasing Earth's culture. Let's put on a festival, food, music, art. It'll be a great way to bridge the gap." Grebe perked up. "I can help with that. I have many ideas for activities that Earthlings might enjoy. Perhaps a learn to dance with aliens workshop?" Alex burst out laughing. "I can already see it, a mix of the moonwalk and whatever strange dances you have from your planet. It could be a hit." The idea sparked a flurry of planning between them. They decided to hold the festival in a large park in the city, a place where people from all walks of life could come together. They envisioned food trucks offering both Earth and alien delicacies, booths for crafts, and, of course, a dance floor where humans and aliens could learn from one another. As the days turned into a week, the trio worked tirelessly to pull everything together. They reached out to community leaders, enlisted volunteers, and even convinced some of the more hesitant aliens to participate. Each time an alien diplomat stepped out of their comfort zone, Alex felt the fragile bridge between their cultures begin to solidify. On the day of the festival, the park buzzed with energy. Colorful banners flapped in the wind, and the scent of various foods wafted through the air, mixing tantalizingly. Laughter echoed as children darted between booths, their faces painted like aliens and monsters. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow over the festivities. Alex stood at the entrance, beaming with pride as he watched the mingling of cultures. There was Grebe, teaching a group of excited children how to toss a space frisbee made from a flexible alien material. Maya was at the food truck, trying to convince a hesitant alien to try a taco. "Trust me, you'll love it," she urged, her hands animated as she gestured toward the toppings. The alien, a tall creature with shimmering skin, looked both confused and intrigued. "Is it made of beef?" it asked, its multiple eyes blinking. Sort of. But it's seasoned with love. And a touch of Earth's finest spices." Maya grinned, adding a hefty portion of guacamole to the taco. Meanwhile, Alex wandered through the park, soaking in the sights and sounds. He stopped at a booth where an alien artist was demonstrating their unique painting technique, using a special kind of luminescent paint that glowed in the dark. A small crowd gathered, captivated by the swirling colors and the artist's fluid movements. "Looks like you've sparked some interest," Zorak said, sidling up beside Alex. He seemed more relaxed now, his earlier tension dissipated in the festive atmosphere. "It's amazing to see everyone coming together," Alex replied, gesturing to the crowd. "This is what I hoped for, a real exchange of cultures, ideas, and laughter." Zorax nodded, his 6 eyes twinkling with a strange warmth. "You humans have a peculiar way of connecting through humor and festivity. It is refreshing. Right? It's how we build relationships." Alex's expression shifted to seriousness. "But I need your help. Some people still have concerns about the treaty. If we can show them that our partnership is beneficial, it will help ease their fears. I shall discuss with my fellow diplomats. Perhaps we can create a council that includes Earth representatives. A symbol of our alliance," Zorak suggested, his voice thoughtful. "Now that's a great idea," Alex said, feeling a rush of optimism. "Let's turn this festival into a launchpad for a new era of cooperation." As the day unfolded, the dance floor became a lively hub of activity. Humans and aliens took to the floor, some with natural grace, others with a delightful awkwardness that filled the air with laughter. Alex found himself swept up in the rhythm, joining in with a mix of moves he'd only ever seen in old movies. "Show us your best move, Earthling." Zorax called out, and Alex, feeling bold, attempted a spin that nearly sent him tumbling. The laughter that followed was light and joyful, echoing the spirit of the festival. Hours passed in a blur of fun, but as the sun began to set, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Alex gathered everyone around for a closing speech. He climbed onto a makeshift stage, heart pounding with excitement and nerves. "Thank you all for coming today. This festival is not just a celebration of our cultures, it's a testament to our shared future." He paused, scanning the crowd, their faces eager and open. "Let's keep this dialogue going. Together, we can build a future where we respect each other's differences and embrace what makes us unique." The crowd erupted in applause, cheers mingling with the fading sounds of music. A sense of accomplishment washed over Alex, and he felt a warmth in his chest, a feeling of hope and connection. After the festival wound down, the trio gathered under a colorful pavilion, surrounded by remnants of the day, empty food containers, balloons, and remnants of laughter. "Today was incredible," Maya said, her face glowing. "We actually did it. Grebe nodded enthusiastically. This is only the beginning. I sense a new age of cooperation blossoming. Alex smiled, feeling grateful for his quirky team. Thanks to both of you, we turned a potential disaster into a celebration. I couldn't have done it without your creativity and support. As they packed up, Alex reflected on the unexpected journey they had taken together. They had started as mere participants in a tense negotiation, but now they were pioneers, forging a path for future generations. Just then, his communicator beeped, drawing his attention. It was a message from Zorax, requesting a meeting to discuss further diplomatic measures. Alex's heart raced. This could be the start of something even bigger. Looks like our work isn't done yet, he said, excitement bubbling within him. We've opened the door to a new era, but now it's time to walk through it. As they made their way home, the stars began to twinkle overhead, each one a reminder of the possibilities that lay beyond Earth. Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had faced the unknown, danced with aliens, and bridged gaps between worlds. Whatever challenges awaited them, he was ready to embrace them with humor, creativity, and an unshakable belief in the power of connection. The journey was just beginning.